First up on Newshour, straight Congress versus BJP debate on this one. Jayanti Natarajan is representing the Congress party on the Newshour tonight, and Piyush Goyal, Treasurer and Rajya Sabha MP. Jayanti Natarajan is Union Minister for Environment and Forests and Congress spokesperson. Thank you very much. And both parties have sent senior representation on the Newshour tonight. I'm grateful for that. Thank you very much. Now, let me begin with Jayanti Natarajan. Ms. Natarajan, you know, everyone is seeing through this. Because if secularism was the fault line, then was the Congress secular in its alliance with the MIM? Was the Congress secular in its understanding with the AUDF in Assam? Has the Congress party been secular in its relationship with the IUML in Kerala? Are these parties secular? So if secularism is the fault line, you'll have a lot to answer as well. And are you using this whole secularism argument because you cannot today justifiably sustain a debate on issues of governance and the economy? Ms. Natarajan, the question goes to you first.
Well, I totally disagree with you, Warner. We can sustain a debate upon growth. We can sustain the debate on governance. And I can debunk every single one of the myths of growth in Gujarat that Mr. Modi has been trying to propagate to the nation. But I'll come to that later.
No, but
Next,
you must tell us.
Secularism is not just the issue here. The issue is, yes.
No, please complete. There's a slight audio delay. Because of the audio delay, I request you, Ms. Natarajan, I'm requesting Piyush Goyal to allow her to complete before you launch into the counter.
About the economic
we'll get it, but I think it's fair of us to ask you to allow her to complete her comments before you jump in. Yes, please. Ms. Natarajan, please continue, because I asked two very specific questions.
Yeah.
Yes, we're getting started.
The issue is the issue is really that Mr. Modi, if you start with his comment to Reuters, I've read a survey, where over 3 years, from 2010 to 2013, Mr. Modi has made speeches all over, which have been 68 speeches, where the word Hindu is not even used once. And suddenly when elections are coming up, he uses the word. He doesn't say that he's a nationalist Hindu. He says he's a Hindu nationalist, which has completely different overtones. And then he says, I'm born a Hindu, I'm a nationalist, therefore I'm a Hindu nationalist. I don't know whether he thinks that the entire nation is composed of people who do not have the brains to understand him. Then the most offensive remark that he made about comparing a law and order issue, an issue where a chief minister should have saved the lives of people who are dying in his state, to a puppy being run over by a car. And then the worst of all, which I find extremely offensive, both as a woman and as a citizen, is to say that the...
Oops. Just losing the line there. I think we lost the line. We're going to get the line back. Piyush Goyal, would you like to make your opening remarks? So I think it's unfair she won't be able to listen. But go ahead.
I can make it, but I'd rather prefer that she hears it.
I think she can hear you now. I'm told she can hear you, but we're going to get the video link back with Chennai. Go ahead. Okay, she can hear you.
I'm extremely surprised at this canard of lies that both the Congress at the highest level and a large part of the media seems to be indulging in for the last 3 days. I ask you, Arnab, are you a Hindu nationalist? And what will you say? Are you a Hindu? Are you a Christian, Muslim? If I ask you that, what is your answer? And then if I ask you, are you a nationalist?
I am an Indian. I am an Indian.
You're an Indian?
Yes.
No. The question is, are you a Hindu?
I am an Indian.
No, are you a Hindu or not?
I am an Indian.
For your kind information, the question asked was...
I am an Indian. I think that's a ridiculous question.
I think, Arnab, you asked the journalist. Don't ask Mr. Modi.
No, I think it's a ridiculous question you put right on top of news tonight. Since you asked me a question, I will tell you, sir, that my question is, why should I define on the one side, Hindu nationalism with India first? I think it's your party. One second, it's your party.
Nobody asked him whether he was Indian or non-Indian. The question put to him by the journalist for your information.
It's a ridiculous question you just put to him.
Ask the journalist, don't ask me.
I'm asking you.
The journalist
what is the definition of nationalism?
The journalist asked him.
What is the definition of nationalism?
I'll tell you that also.
The definition of nationalism is, according to the Webster's dictionary, loyalty and devotion to a nation. The Oxford Dictionary simply describes it as a patriotic feeling. I see no reason why my loyalty and devotion to the nation and why my patriotic feeling should have any religious overtones. Can you tell me any?
Which is exactly what Mr.
Can
Modi
you tell me
said.
any?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Tell me why it should have religious overtones.
The question that was asked by the journalist is, people want to know who is the real Modi, Hindu nationalist leader or pro-business chief minister? This is the question. They are specifically asking him a contra between a Hindu nationalist leader or pro-business chief minister. Question asked by a person like you, another journalist. Modi replies. He says, I'm nationalist. He doesn't say I'm Hindu nationalist.
Why does he not say? Why does he not say? Of course, I bothered to read it.
So read further.
1 second. Why does he not say? Why does he not say?
Let me answer.
Let me ask you.
Like you told me to allow Jen. Let me answer.
Why does he not say?
First you listen to me, then I'll answer.
Why does he not say?
First let me.
Why does he not say?
First I will complete my say. You can say anything.
So one question. Why does he not say I'm an Indian first? I was the one who coined the India first.
Well, he doesn't ask Arnab Goswami what he wants to say, right? He answers a journalist's question.
Well, who's changing the goalpost?
And what does he say? He says, I'm nationalist. You have any objection to that?
I am asking.
Do you have any objection to that?
Why have you mixed up India first with nationalism?
Do you have any objection in him being a nationalist?
I am asking you whether a person who is aspiring to be Prime Minister of India cannot restrict his comments to saying I'm Indian first. I don't mix up my nationalism with my religion.
Arnab, we don't get influenced by your decision how we should answer. We decide how we will answer a journalist question.
Now I think... One sec.
You have not allowed me to complete, Arnab. 1 sec. He says, I'm nationalist. Let Jayanti also hear this. He says, I'm patriotic. So you just define nationalism? That's what he is. Then he says, nothing is wrong. I'm a born Hindu.
You're repeating the facts.
No, but because you are misrepresenting. You are misrepresenting
this argument of misrepresentation is the most ridiculous argument.
So he says nothing is wrong in being born a Hindu. You're feeling embarrassed about being born Hindu? Are you apologetic about being born Hindu? Are you apologetic about it? Then you tell the people. Let the congressmen tell the people if they are apologetic about being born Hindu.
One second. First of all, you can Jayanti Natarajan heard you there. Take your glass of water as much as you want, Piyush Goyal, but let me tell you 1 second. One second.
I'm a born Hindu.
1 second. We say...
He said I'm a Hindu nationalist because I'm a born Hindu.
We say tonight...
He said it so clearly.
1 second, sir.
Now, if you can't understand it, it's so sorry.
I think it is... I just want to say one thing to both parties, and I said this on top of Newshour tonight, Piyush Goyal. Believe me.
I can hear.
Believe me. Yes, I'm coming to you, Mr. I just want to say one thing. It is not unnatural in a democracy that a political party and a political leader, especially one who is aspiring to be Prime Minister, will be asked questions. I dare say it would be a very bad media which would stop asking the questions. I said on top of Newshour tonight that the reaction to that must not be a reaction of anger. It must be a reaction of... I can also tell you, Piyush Goyal, and I'm saying this straight up to you tonight, a lot of leaders from your party, Mr. Goyal, were not very happy with the expression used.
Name some of them.
Let them come on record.
I can say a lot of people from the Times Now group have called me and said, look, we are really tired of Arnab's misinterpreting facts. So you want to argue on that?
Well,
so give me a name, Arnab, if you want to make allegations.
Now we are getting...
Then give me a name. If you don't want to give a name, then don't make allegations which are baseless.
I said this, Mr. Piyush Goyal.
The question is,
Mr. Piyush Goyal, if you allow me.
The journalist's question was answered by a chief minister. And he analyzed it and he answered it.
Now you...
He said, I'm a nationalist, I'm a born Hindu. I see nothing wrong in that.
Before we lose the link again with Jayanti Natarajan, fair... that you listen to her.
Something?
Go ahead, Jayanti Natarajan. And I have some... You didn't answer my question as well about whether the MIM is a secular party, but go ahead.
No, I wanted to say that Mahatma Gandhi, that Mr. Modi professes to admire, was a Hindu, and he was a much greater nationalist than Mr. Modi. You can't even talk about them in the same breath. He never said such a thing at any point. Whereas Mr. Jinnah said, I am a Muslim nationalist, what would be the reaction of the BJP? What would be the reaction of the BJP? I think the BJP does not require an answer from me or from the Congress. They can take their answer from Mr. Advani and Mr. Yashwant Sinha, who've spoken extensively on the subject today. And even worse is what he said about the burqa.
Go ahead, go ahead. Complete your comment. Mr. Piyush Goyal will respond after that. Go ahead.
And the
1 second, let her answer. She's got an audio delay. Let her listen.
No, the issue is that the remarks made by Mr. Modi are something which are not only totally offensive, but are calculated to divide the polity, are calculated to polarize. We are more than willing to take up the record of governance of the UPA government, which our record of poverty reduction is about 4.4%. The NDA record of poverty reduction was 0.68%. In Mr. Modi, when Mr. Modi was talking about education at Pune, and if you talk about education, in almost all the engineering colleges in Gujarat, you have vacancies at the level of principals. The high school dropout rate is much higher than the rest of the country. And if you talk about what he said about the spending upon GDP, as a percentage, the education spending upon GDP, that too, he's way lower than the rest of the country. So we can easily debunk Mr. Modi's figures and the speeches that he makes about growth and development. And as a matter of fact, we will do that, and we will take the debate to a debate upon the record of governance.
We will go on fact. We will go on fact. We will go on fact. And in 5 minutes from now, we have 3 other participants on the debate. After the Jayanti Natarajan and Piyush Goyal, we will be joined already in our studio. In fact, we have Bharat Kumar Raut of the Shiv Sena. The political editor of the Open magazine joins us from Delhi. Hartosh Singhbal has problems with what Modi is saying. And of course, Pawan Verma, advisor to the Chief Minister of Bihar, who gives the JDU point of view. We have more panelists joining in. But Ms. Natarajan, I find it absolutely strange tonight. With the greatest of respect to you, you're one of the senior most Congress spokespersons, one of the most vocal ministers. But why is one of the most vocal ministers avoiding 2 questions of mine? My first question is, in your view, are the IUML, AUDF and MIM secular parties that the Congress party does business with? My second question to you is more factual. You have a lot of facts on Gujarat on the table. Ma'am, you are taking on Modi when there has been a 4th petrol price hike in the last 8 weeks. The June end WPI inflation has risen 4.86%. And if I'm not mistaken, the rupee has fallen 10% against the US dollar since early May. Ms. Natarajan, it's quite obvious to me that you are limiting the political discourse to secularism to save yourself the blushes on governance.
No. Not at all, Arnab. As far as the petrol price hike is concerned, you know better than anyone else, and you're not mentioning it. The fact is that we have delinked it. The administrative price mechanism is no longer there, and that was done by the NDA. Do you know how many times the price went up of petrol during the doing it in spurts? Right now, it has been delinked, and it goes up and down as a result of the crude oil prices at the international level, and you know that as well as I do. As far as inflation is concerned, the fact is that all over the world, particularly in developed countries, there is a tremendous recession. And we have been totally safeguarded from that recession until now, and will continue to.
Ma'am, what are you saying? Is that why onion prices shot up by 114%?
Then so many
is that why vegetable prices went up 17%? Is that why food inflation went up 9.74%? Then you tell me, why did you increase gas prices when internationally gas prices have been going down?
No, but please understand that if there are floods, terrible floods and natural disasters which destroy all the vegetable transport and the vegetables which are grown in the north of India, the prices didn't go up as much in the south of India. These are seasonal disturbances, and they will come back.
No. 1 second. Jayanti Natarajan, I'm going to come back to you.
Let's take the 9 years of the UP.
Why should I take the 9 years? I want to take the here and now. And my question to you, you are still not answering my question. Tell me, is the IUML a secular party? Is the AUDF a secular party? Is the MIM a secular party?
Let me tell you that I speak for the Congress, and the Congress is a secular party. We stand for secularism in the country. Much broader perspective than the narrow definition that you are trying to draw.
But that's remarkable.
No, why?
That's extremely remarkable. Then, by that logic, if they speak only for the Congress, but they keep company of all these parties, then how can they ever claim to be a secular alliance?
Well,
it's the UPA in power.
Well,
is UPA a secular alliance
together,
at all?
I don't believe there's any point in talking. If
Well,
we are going to be together, then I may as well remain silent and allow Ms. is the last person who should even mention the.
We have a very bad audio line. Miss Natarajan, let me assure you, we just have this terrible satellite link with you. That's not the, there's no other reason why, you're being interrupted here by Mr. Piyush Goyal, because the line is coming and going. But I'm going to come back to you. Pawan Verma.
No, one sec.
Pawan Verma and Hartosh Singh.
I have to respond to what she said.
First of all, let's get everyone into the debate.
I have to respond to her allegations and falsehoods.
You've not answered to my question.
If she has alleged some falsehoods, Arnab, about how the NDA increased prices, she must also know that while it went up 26 times, it went down 28 times. Arnab, she must also know that inflation was at the lowest in the NDA time. She must also know if economic situation worldwide is down, it doesn't justify high inflation in India.
Now she's back. Listen to her.
Yeah, but you must also allow me to respond.
She's back.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's totally wrong. His figures are totally wrong.
So tell me what's wrong.
Mr. Goyal's figures are totally wrong. Inflation was not the lowest. In fact, the the reduction of poverty in the NDA was the lowest. It was 0.8%, whereas the reduction of poverty in the UPA is 4.04%. And those are figures that you cannot possibly controvert.
Question tonight on the Newshour. Now we'll open this up. Question tonight on the Newshour. Would it be fair?
Are something that we can counter step by step.
No. We must get the others in. What's it? My question tonight on the Newshour. Hartosh.
Due to international recession and irrelevant issues.
Hartosh, would you believe that it's correct to say that both the BJP and the Congress are trying to fight this election in terms of debate on issues they are comfortable with? The BJP does not want to talk on the issue of secularism, and the Congress party does not want to talk about the issue of governance. Hartosh.
Absolutely. I think both parties are trying to avoid those particular labels where they are at their weakest, where they are most exposed. But in all this, we are getting caught up in a rhetoric that is going nowhere. At no point are we left with issues. We are unfortunately going to be throwing labels at each other and not arriving at a conclusion. The simple fact is one, that this Congress government is a government that needs to go. And I think most people in this country believe that. But they also believe that the cost of this government going cannot be a Modi coming in. And this is the dilemma of most ordinary citizens of this country.
Well, the last poll said 36% of India wants Modi as PM. Of all the polls put together,
that means
64%
do not want him, Mr. Goyal.
Well, nobody else had 36%, gentlemen. The rest were at 10 and 7 and 5 and 3. So you may not want him, but the large part of India is certainly looking up to Mr. Modi as Prime Minister.
Hartosh is responding, Jayanti is responding. Jayanti, since the line has been bad with you, you go first.
He could not... Or Mr. Modi could not even go to Bihar after BJP snapped the ties, rather Mr. Nitish Kumar snapped his ties with the BJP. He had to address them via a video conference. And he's talking about, Mr. Goyal is talking about a large part of India. Right, that's northern India. In the south, Mr. Modi, he should just, after losing Karnataka, I think that it's better that the BJP does not talk about a pan-Indian presence, leave alone Mr. Modi.
Fine.
No, she has said something.
Anywhere in South India, he will not get a single vote.
Okay, by the way, on both your counts...
He will not get a single vote because his brand of politics has already been discarded in this part of the country. He can't go to Bihar. He only addresses Bihar through a video conference. So how he's the most popular man in the country? They might have taken a poll during a BJP executive meeting. Even then, surprised. Was Mr. Advani
okay.
Well, I'm very glad they suddenly have a lot of love for our BJP leaders. But let me set the record straight. Neither was it a video conference. It was only a con call, just for kind information, ma'am. Second, it was fixed up in Goa in my presence much before the JDU left. Mr. Modi is a busy person. He's also running a state. He's going around the country. And for your information, there's a huge rally slated in Bihar after the rains, But then you are free to choose to say whatever you like about Karnataka. The fact is the Congress vote went up barely 1%. I lost my state because of division of vote. Nothing else. It's not that we lost the vote.
Miss Natarajan,
just for your information.
Natarajan, I am determined today, and I'm getting a lot of calls from SMSs from viewers. I'm determined today to ask the most direct questions to all parties. And I hope that you will all indulge me by not being angry. Because of late, over the last 1 week, I've seen in the run-up to the election, when you ask a difficult question, the reaction is not of annoyance, it's of anger.
No,
and I think there should be less anger and more facts.
Our reaction is always very healthy, but you should allow us to complete our statement.
Well,
instead of a counter question continuously, please allow Ms. Natarajan to complete her answer.
I think you've had more say.
In all fairness, I have to force my say because you interrupt every time I start speaking.
Mr. Piyush Goyal, one second. Now my question is to the Shiv Sena, and before that to the JDU. First, my question is to the Shiv Sena. Sir, please don't be partisan about it. Take a slightly non-partisan approach to it, if possible, and tell me that in your view, if Modi says, I don't like this secular communal debate, then why is he going back to it? Did he not know that on the 14th of July in Pune yesterday, when he talks about very deliberately the burqa of secularism, that he will only be contributing to the debate and not killing it? And if so, then may I ask you why, in your view, is he contributing to the debate, if he really hates this debate? If Modi doesn't want this debate, he can kill the debate by only talking development. Why is he constantly referring to it?
Good that you asked this question to me. Let me at the outset mention to you that my party and my party leader has welcomed Modi's outright stand that he is Hindu nationalist. So that he has welcomed it. No, let me complete. If you don't want me to be angry, I think you should give me opportunity to complete.
all parties are consistent in their anger nowadays. Yes, go ahead.
Then you are free to ask me anything.
Go ahead. Let him complete.
Number two is when Modi says burqa, why all these people have to take it as burqas of the Muslims? Burqa is burqa. Burqa is a cover to cover your face. In any language, in any religion, burqa remains burqa. Why do you have to keep saying this? If when he talks about puppy, you have to only keep saying that he talks about Muslim people. Why you go out of context and do this? So who is communal?
It's a very basic question. You're giving me a complicated answer. My question was very simple.
Yeah.
And trust me, this is a question a lot of people are asking. That here is Mr. Modi, he says, I don't like this secular communal debate, right? But wherever he goes, he himself is talking about it. Why is that happening? Pawan Verma, let me ask you the question. You want to come into the debate? Let's get Pawan Verma into the debate.
But let me complete. You are not allowed me to complete also. I reserve my right to answer your question. If you are talking to Pawan Verma, you talk to him, but I reserve my right to answer your question. Question should not go answered. Otherwise, it looks like that we don't have answers.
No, you can give me the answer, but give me the answer. How can a person who doesn't like the secular communal debate reigniting the debate with what he says in his rallies? Just explain that to me.
When did he reignite the debate? When he says that Congress...
Was it Modi in Pune yesterday or somebody else?
I don't know whether...
I was there.
Let me complete. I was
there, so I'll clarify your point.
Please go ahead.
Let me complete. What he was simply saying, I heard him on television, I may not be verbatim right, but what he said that whenever there is a difficult situation for Congress party, Congress takes the burqa of secularism.
That's right.
Secularism is in danger. So don't look at the food price rise. Don't look at the petrol price rise because secularism is in danger. So where is the question? He is stating the fact. And the fact remains in last 2 years, if you keep seeing the statements by Congress and the people at the helm of the affairs of Congress, the same thing is repeated. Where is it wrong? And is he igniting the debate? Or the debate was later? The ugly debate was later ignited by Congress people and not by Modi.
Pawan Verma to respond. The question goes on. 1 second to the Congress party, I'd like to remind them. I'm asking the question once again, and I request Jayanti Natarajan to reply. Is the AUDF a secular party?
Yeah.
Is the MIM a secular party? Is the IUML a secular party? Will the Congress party, which preaches secularism, consider that it would be much more favorable if today, as of this minute, They divided political parties into those they think are secular and they think are non-secular. The definition of secularism cannot change after the results, Ms. Jayanti Nataraj. It cannot change after the results. That division has to be made now if you're making it an axiom in Indian politics.
But you cannot frame
Yes?
Arnab, I'm sorry, you cannot frame the rules of debate for us. I have to give you the answer that I want to give you. And I want to tell you that the gentleman who spoke before me, he gave us this extraordinary description of a burqa. When a Hindu woman covers her head, is that known as a burqa? A burqa is a burqa all over the world. I have never heard a more ridiculous explanation.
It is a cover on the
Mr.
face.
Modi's, I'm outraged. I'm outraged as a woman that when a woman's the identity of a Muslim woman, let's put it very squarely, when the identity of a Muslim woman and her religion demands or she wishes to wear a burqa, if this is the explanation that this gentleman is giving for Mr. Modi, all I can say is that he's no better than Mr. Modi.
Oh.
And this is a kind of discourse that should be condemned
I need to go to Pawan Verma, then I'll come back.
No, but you are on a wrong debate. I was there when Mr. Modi made...
I need Mr. Pawan Verma to come in, please, with all respect.
Boss,
I think he has the right to protest.
But you have made a comment which is wrong.
I'll come to you. Don't be one second. Mr. Pawan Verma should not be unrepresented. We've so many minutes into the debate. Mr. Verma, I'm sorry. Now, my question to you, Mr. Verma, is do you think the secular, non-secular divide is appropriate anymore in Indian politics? Because the maximum number of flip-flops on this issue have, with the greatest of respect, been made by your party. Having made the maximum number of flip-flops on the issue, can your party welcome this as an axiom in Indian politics? Isn't that very opportunistic?
No, let me answer you clearly. First of all, there have been no flip-flops. We aligned with the BJP on the basis of an understanding. That understanding began to get unraveled in a state like Bihar for 8 years almost under the combined coalition of the BJP and the JDU. There were no communal riots. And that is why Mr. Nitish Kumar, who has remained a staunch secularist, but also a good administrator and good on governance, he took an issue. But Arnab, may I say to you, because I haven't had a chance to speak while the rest of the debate has been going on, I hope you'll allow me 60 seconds. I want to say to you and to all the panelists and to the people of India that it's an exceptionally worrying trend that in 2013, 66 years after independence, we are actually posing before the people a choice between governance and a harmonious, peaceful India where all religions live in coexistence. Are we seriously unraveling the consensus that came to us in 1947 to embrace a vibrant, plural country where all religions live in peace and harmony? It's a very serious matter because the two cannot be opposed. Governance, as far as governance is concerned, Mr. Nitish Kumar in Bihar and other leaders also have sometimes even a better record. Mr. Nitish Kumar brought up Bihar from almost the bottom of the rung to the highest growth rates for 5 consecutive years. But there is an idea of India at stake. I asked the BJP that if a leading Muslim politician had said that he is in an interview to a foreign news agency, said that he's a Muslim nationalist, the BJP would have been the first to tear into him that you are identifying India first and nationalism with the color of religion. When Mr. Modi does it, the entire BJP, or at least some important segments of it, are justifying it. There is a certain sensitivity to all religions, a certain respect to all religions which is in our DNA. This is not about governance and secularism. I admit secularism could be a dirty word, but is the concept behind it also dirty? This is an essential aspect of the India we have today. Do we want communal strife back again? Do we want to divide the nation once again on the basis of religion? I think the time has come for us to seriously take stock of which way is the country heading.
I take your point. I want to remind you that in the year 2005, it was Nitish Kumar who said, talking about the Gujarat riots, it is a political stunt, but they should know they cannot take advantage of the Gujarat riots again and again. And the Congress party would be well aware to know that even when Pranab Mukherjee was the Congress-supported candidate for president, he came to Mumbai and sought the support of the Shiv Sena. Therefore, my only limited question is this: is the issue of secularism only to be remembered when it is convenient and forgotten when it is convenient? I need a straight question, straight answer to that one from both the JDU and the Congress tonight, and I hope they will give me before the end of the program. But you are getting rebuts from both the Shiv Sena and the BJP. You can go first. Mr. Pawan Verma, rebuts coming your way. Hartosh, I'm coming to you next. You'd like to respond to him, please. Bharat Kumar Rao.
What do you want me to respond to? Because you are not allowing me.
Well, he's telling you it's unfortunate that we are in a situation where politics has been brought to this point, where we are being forced to issue something. And he's asking you a question. If a prime ministerial candidate from any other party would have described himself as a Muslim nationalist, would you and Piyush Goyal not have gunned for that person? Please give an honest reply to both.
Exactly. That's he never said that Hindu first or anything. He has not said. Question as he has already mentioned to you. The question was very simple and the answer was very simple. I am born Hindu and I am nationalist. So you can call me. How is
secularism a burqa? Because if secularism is a burqa, if secularism is a burqa, then have we forgotten that the Constitution of India lists it as an identity for the nation?
He did not say secularism is a burqa. He said that take the burqa of secularism. Let me come. And here you don't have to attach it to Muslims, because I'm telling you, when a criminal is brought to the court before the identification parade, he has been put a cover on his face.
Once again,
what do you call it? You call it burqa.
I allow. Let him respond. I come back to you. There will be a rebuttal.
Then they want me to choose to get out. Tell me.
Mr. Piyush Goyal,
want me to choose to go? You're welcome to tell me.
No, 1 second. This is the order we will go in, because I'm being unfairly accused. 1 second.
Yeah,
this is
not
the order.
unfairly, very fairly.
This is the order, Piyush Goyal. This is the order in which we will go. You have responded. I will go to now Pawan Verma, and then I will come back to you.
You had said we are both going to respond.
You were talking in between. I was not heard at all. At least the audience has not heard me.
Would you take the response back?
Exactly.
I request you. Would you take the response back?
I am just giving one analogy and let your learned viewers make a decision. A criminal. I'm saying a criminal. Again, don't compare. You are calling Muslims criminal. No, I'm saying a criminal is brought in the court before identification parade. He has been put burqa on his face. We call it burqa. Do you say that criminal is man, woman, Hindu, Muslim? What is it?
So you are saying Jayanti Natarajan?
You don't have to identify it with burqa.
So it is fair.
This is our communal mind.
It is fair. It is fair. I go to Jayanti Natarajan. She made the point.
Let me complete. If I put it that these people who have been talking about burqa for Muslims, they have communal mind.
Now I think Mr. Bharat Kumar Rao, 1 minute please. It is fair I take a response from the other side, then I'll come back.
Yeah, okay.
Jayanti Natarajan, what he's saying here is there was no communal remark made. The communal thought is in the interpretation of that remark.
Correct.
1 second please. 1 second. Let her respond now.
Okay.
And then I will continue this debate. But let her respond please.
Am I in the debate?
Yes, you very much are. Yes, please. Jayanti Natarajan.
I think he made a... I think with all due respect, Mr. Raut, he made a Freudian slip. He himself says, I'm not talking about Muslim criminals. That means that's the first thing on his mind. It is the first thing.
No, let her complete.
Because you said that.
It's also not just what a person says, but who says it. No, let me complete. Kindly let me complete.
Okay.
Now, the word burqa is used probably for criminals only by the Shiv Sena or in Maharashtra. Certainly the word burqa. I'm a lawyer. I've studied criminal law. I know the Criminal Procedure Code and the Indian Penal Code. Nowhere is the word burqa used. I think Mr. Raut is using it all, which is even more insulting to the Muslims.
Modi was speaking in Pune, that is part of Maharashtra. Modi was speaking in Pune, that is Maharashtra.
It's just making it worse and worse. It's just making it worse and worse. So, well, point out a single provision in the Criminal Procedure Code where the cover on a criminal's face in an identification parade is called a burqa. It's getting absolutely ridiculous, Arnab, with all due respect. And I use the word advisedly.
Let me come.
No, as Hartosh is coming in.
Is that I would endorse wholeheartedly Mr. Pawan, what Mr. Pawan said, that it is not about secularism against development. It is secularism and growth. And for heaven's sake, leave the burqa out of this discussion.
One second. Hartosh has not been speaking for a long time. He only made one comment at the start.
And
Hartosh,
are you also calling secularism a crime?
Well, Hartosh, and there are two questions that remain to the Congress party unanswered. I'm listing them out. Is the IUML, MIM and AUDF secular parties? One, and second, will you define who is secular and non-secular right now and not do a convenient explanation on this after the election? Two, and was the Shiv Sena secular when Pranab Mukherjee came calling before the presidential election? Three. There are only three questions because then we must know why secularism is not a divide in a presidential election, but why it becomes a divide in a prime ministerial election. That's only yes.
If the Shiv Sena wanted to vote for, if the Shiv Sena wanted to vote for Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, good for them. They chose the right man. At least once they made the right decision.
It's not a question of that.
I welcome it. And I'm not going to let you sidetrack the fact that the Congress is the only secular party.
The question goes back now. Hartosh is coming back to the
No, she
I asked the question. Where's going to come back?
She was saying, I have the right to answer. Mr. Pranab Mukherjee came to meet late Balasaheb Thackeray at his residence. If Shiva Sena is communal, then why Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, Honorable Pranab Mukherjee, came to meet him before election?
Next
participant. Not this.
We can't
Pratibha Dai Patil, when she became the president of India, she called Balasaheb Thackeray and thanked him. If Shiva Sena is communal party and we are sitting with communal elements, what you say, Modi and others, then why did you do this? It is opportunism. It is called opportunism, not communalism, not secularism. You are taking the side of opportunism.
Anyway.
Yeah.
There's a delay. There's a delay.
You are digging your own. You are calling yourself communal, Mr. Raut. I never used that word.
I'm not saying. I'm not. You are saying it.
The question goes, one second. The question goes, I think, look at the list of questions. I have so many unanswered questions tonight.
Why can't we accept their vote?
I have so many unanswered questions tonight. But the question is, after having talked about Hindu nationalism, after having made the puppy remark, after having talked about the burqa of secularism, can Mr. Modi or the BJP really complain about the secular-communal divide having come back? Who brought this debate on the agenda in the first place?
So can I answer
that? And did Mr. Amit Shah speak about the temple? Is this all happening in tandem? Is it one big gigantic political coincidence that nobody has a control over? Is this all happening, through some inner hand or some workings of somebody who nobody has control over? Is the BJP working to a calibrated plan on this, or is this accidental? These are some questions. I'm coming.
I should answer.
After Hartosh.
You give such a long question. You should have a long answer.
After Hartosh, he's spoken once.
Okay.
Hartosh.
Mr. Raut has had his say quite often. Two things. Narendra Modi has a long history of signaling certain things. When he was talking of Mia Musharraf, the indication was clear. When he talks of the burqa of secularism, the indication is clear. This was preceded by the term Hindu nationalism. And let's be clear what that means. I myself, born a Sikh, have encountered what Sikh nationalism meant. It meant a communal nationalism that went by the name of Khalistan. Hindu nationalism is even more dangerous. It has the history of the assassination of Gandhi, the destruction of the Babri Masjid, the Samjhauta blast. This is what Hindu nationalism is about. And this is the signal Narendra Modi is giving to non-Hindus in this country. Why should I not be suspicious of this man?
Well, I think Hartosh has missed the definition of nationalism given by you. And he may be apologetic about being Sikh.
Absolutely not, Mr. Goyal. I'm very precise about the definition of nationalism.
But he just defined it.
I've given you the incidents that took place in the name of Hindu nationalism.
No, you may
done by people who usurp the label of Hindu nationalism.
Absolutely.
And are you turning away from Godse
make
today?
that allegation.
Are you turning away from the destruction of the Babri Masjid?
Absolutely.
Are you turning away from the Samjhauta blast today?
You may make that allegation, but the question...
No, are you turning away from the Babri Masjid? Are you turning away from Babri Masjid?
Mr. Goyal,
Let me answer him. I'll answer you later.
What?
Since he has raised the issue...
Mr. Pawan Verma, after Piyush Goyal's response, Piyush Goyal, just make it brief.
Wait a minute. You want to make it brief, then you make your questions brief. And I have to respond to three other persons.
He spoke for less than a minute. Please respond so I can get Piyush Goyal, Pawan Verma in. Please, go ahead. Yes.
No, hang on. I have to respond to all three who have made all false allegations.
Be specific.
The question is, he was asked, do you believe India should have a secular leader? He defined secularism for all these panelists. He said, for me, secularism is India first. My philosophy of my party is justice to all, appeasement to none.
This is when?
On the same Reuters interview.
So,
point one.
So then,
wait a minute.
How can you talk about India first?
Will
and
you allow
Hindu
me to finish?
nationalism
Then you ask me a supplementary. Let me finish. Second, the question put to him was, are you a Hindu nationalist?
Yes.
And he responded not that I'm a Hindu nationalist.
Yes.
He said, I'm a nationalist.
Yes.
I'm a patriot. Nothing is wrong in being a nationalist or a patriot. Then he said, I'm a born Hindu.
Yeah.
Therefore, if you put it together, there's nothing wrong even if you call him a Hindu
Answer
nationalist.
the question on Babri Masjid.
He is free to allege.
Answer the question on
Well,
Babri
the
Masjid.
Babri Masjid was something when Narendra Modi was not involved.
Was the Babri Masjid a follow-up of a certain form of Hindu nationalism in your view, Mr. Piyush?
Not at all. It was a form of some people who were agitated that a wrong was done in India.
What role did any leaders
and they
from your
set
party
it
have?
right.
What
The
role did any
BJP
leaders
never was in favor of demolition of the mosque.
What in your view was the leaders from your party doing as far as the Babri Masjid is concerned? Did they have any direct or indirect role in the Babri Masjid demolition?
The leaders of our party were demanding a Bhavya temple, a great temple there, where it rightfully should have been as the birthplace of Lord Ram. And I think there's nothing wrong in that demand.
What if somebody
What
says
happened
tomorrow,
there, our leaders have already said is a wrong.
One second, we're getting a response.
But wait a minute, let me finish. No, there are 2 or 3 things that have been said.
One question I have for you.
No, they've said 2 or 3 things.
One question I have for you.
Mia Musharraf.
Take my question.
Is Mr. Bal saying that Mia is a bad word? In UP, everybody calls each other Mia.
No, he's saying that you're being suggested.
What is the definition?
He's saying...
What is the problem in using an analogy?
You asked the question, can he go back?
No, let me
Can he respond to you?
He can respond after I finish.
Briefly, Mr.
Like I responded after.
Than he did.
Well, Jayanti ji also spoke a long enough time.
Well,
so if you have patience for one panelist, you must have patience for all panelists.
You ask a question, it must not go unanswered.
No, but there were 6 questions asked. Let me answer all those.
There are 2 people who want to respond to you right here, right now.
I was asked 6 questions. Let me answer all those 6 questions.
Please answer my question, which is simply the question. Now, here's a question put to you. I have one question. 1 second. Pawan Verma and Hartosh Singh Bal, I seek your indulgence. Mr. Piyush Goyal says he's being unfairly treated on the program tonight, to which I object. And I say, Mr. Piyush Goyal, if you quantify the amount of time you've spoken to others, you'd find you've spoken longer than others. But
there are 4 panelists I have to respond to.
Now,
one being you and 3 others.
Thank you for that. Now, my question is very simply this, please.
No, but there's an analogy.
1 second. If you
know
want
what an analogy is?
You don't want to take
an analogy is something which is similar in some respects,
Mr. Piyush Goyal,
but otherwise dissimilar.
Mr. Piyush Goyal,
so you are converting an analogy into an allegation.
No, I'm not. If you want to pull out the Webster's dictionary, I'll pull out the
you also pulled it out.
We
you
can
pulled
go on
out
all
also
night.
Definitions. I also have
My question is this, Mr. Piyush Goyal. Say yes or no directly to me tonight. By the way, Pawan Verma, I'm coming straight.
That's what the journalist asked him directly. Are you a Hindu nationalist?
Mr. Piyush Goyal,
so he answered
do you want to answer my question? Then tell the people of this country you will not take my question, because my question to you is very simple, Mr. Piyush Goyal. So Narendra Modi says, India first, so I'm an Indian first.
Absolutely.
And I'm a Hindu nationalist. Therefore, my question to you...
There's no contradiction in that.
Yeah. So is there a contradiction in your view?
Absolutely none.
Allow me to complete the statement, please. That's what I say. My question is, if another political leader were to turn around and say, I also believe in India first, but I'm a Muslim nationalist.
So there's nothing wrong. We have tons and tons of Muslims who have laid down their lives.
So you say you believe in Muslim nationalism too?
There are people who are born Muslim.
Do you as an official office bearer of the BJP say you believe in Muslim nationalism?
Well, you know the definition of nationalism.
Do you believe in Muslim nationalism?
My friend, you just gave a definition of nationalism.
Can there be Muslim nationalism?
Well, if a person is born a Muslim and he's a nationalist,
so as an office bearer of the BJP,
obviously he will be a Muslim, but who's also a nationalist.
So you do believe
That's
in the
exactly what Mr. Modi said.
Do you believe in the concept of Muslim nationalism?
Well, a person who's born Muslim and is a nationalist is obviously going to be a Muslim nationalist.
The term Muslim nationalist has certain overtones, just as the term Hindu nationalist.
You may have overtones. So he's specified.
So you say it's in my mind.
So my friend, he has specified, I am nationalist and I am born Hindu. He has specified. You read the interview.
Pawan Verma is responding to you. I asked a question. I don't know if that answer is satisfactory. Pawan Verma is rebutting you. 5 minutes to the debate. Go ahead, Mr. Verma.
So are you saying
Mr.
all Muslims are anti-national by any chance?
Mr. Verma.
Are you alleging that Muslims are anti-national?
1 second, Mr. Verma.
You know, it can't be a dialogue between you and Mr. Piyush.
Go ahead, Mr. Verma.
There are other panelists who need 30 seconds to speak.
Go ahead, and no interruption.
I know that you understand a bit of Hindustani, and I just want to quote a couplet about Mr. Goyal's defense of Modi. खतावार समझेगी दुनिया तुझे बस इतनी भी ज्यादा सफाई न दे. Mr. Goyal is doing the indefensible, and I know there are important segments in his own party who have genuine reservations on this kind of unipolar, narrow nationalism that Mr. Modi represents. I say to you that if he aspires to be the leader of India, if asked this question, his answer should have been, I am Hindu by personal faith, I am a nationalist. When you combine the two, as you are delivering as part of a sequence. As part of a sequence, you are giving a series of signals whose entire basis is to build a consolidate an electoral platform on the basis of religious divide. Arnab, I want to say to you and through that to your audience, this is a very dangerous movement for India. It will jeopardize the project of governance. We must be careful and we must introspect.
Well, I think...
One sec, the sentence is, you can say I'm a Hindu nationalist because I'm a born Hindu. Yeah. Kindly read it carefully and tell your readers the correct statement he has made.
I have read it.
He has specified I'm a Hindu nationalist because I'm a born Hindu. So anybody can be born of different faith. What's your problem?
No, he's saying to you...
Y'all are polarizing the debate, not us.
Hartosh Singh Bal responses.
I
pull back.
Signals which we don't
Hartosh Singh Bal, the accusation being made on the other side that the problem is with the interpretation. I see the word Hindu nationalist used in a repetitive way with 7 phrases in between.
With an addition, because I'm a born Hindu.
Now answer.
Arnab, the term Hindu nationalist wasn't invented yesterday by Narendra Modi. There's a long history that is associated with the term. It has certain implications which are clear to every citizen of this country. Those implications are divisive, dangerous and communal, and those were the implications Modi was embracing when he said, I'm a Hindu nationalist. You can try all the sophistry in the world, but clearly Narendra Modi was signaling something, and that signal is what is dangerous to this country, and that is what we are criticizing here.
Jayanti Natarajan, last 3 minutes to the debate, and my question to you is this. Please, ma'am, I am repeating the question many times. Is the IUML a secular party? Is the AUDF a secular party? Is the MIM, has it been a secular party when you were in alliance with them? That's question 1. Second question, very simple to you, Ms. Natarajan, is secularism is one issue, but the governance, the economy, the Aam Aadmi subjects which concern the people of this country, price rise, etc., are an important issue. You are being straightforwardly accused of running away from the second debate. Running away from the second debate and using, in Mr. Modi's words, the veil of secularism to move away from that debate. My question to you, very simple, is, in your view, don't you think the issues of bad governance and the economy, the chaotic state of the economy and terrible governance which affect the Aam Aadmi are as or equally important as the other issues which you raised? And why don't let her complete? And my question is to her. My question is to her. My question is, I think my question is to her.
When I first started speaking,
your first question was
when I first started speaking,
she will answer if you allow her to answer. 1 second, Ms. Natarajan. Allow her to answer.
When I first started speaking,
allow her to answer.
Arnab, right in the beginning of the debate, when I first started speaking, I said secularism as well as governance are equally important, and the other cannot be separated from each other. And with regard to both secularism as well as governance, if only the BJP allowed Parliament to function and did not wash out the entire session like they did last time, if only they don't take up the public discourse by these offensive and highly polarizing, divisive, dangerous remarks like Mr. Modi has made, certainly we can and we are more than able to debate the question of governance and the record of the UPA versus the NDA.
Now, I need
repeatedly asked, Mr. Goyal thinks that we are shying away from something.
Yeah.
We have, I'm sorry, we are not, I am stating that I am spokesperson for the Congress. The Congress is a secular party. Whether other parties are secular or not, you've got to draw your own conclusions. I repeatedly say this is a debate about what is the BJP doing. Let me continue this to say that if today, are you willing to say that Mr. Nitish Kumar, because he had an alliance with the BJP up to that particular point of time, was he secular, was he not secular? Can he answer? Can he now say that Mr.
If you has discovered suddenly that Nitish Kumar is secular,
I propose,
until a few days back you didn't find him okay. Now you
The
find it
fact of the
secular.
matter
I
is-
But
I propose.
You are tying
Let
yourself
me
up
complete.
in a-
Wait,
This
wait.
is not.
Question
This
has
is
been
not a question
unanswered.
of
Is Muslim
etymology
League
or
you consider
birthplace.
secular?
The fact is, the Congress have. Can you mention a single act that the Congress?
Yes,
What-
yes, 1984 riots.
Tonight on the
where
news, as I wrap up
5,000
debate
people
number one,
died, was an act by the Congress leadership.
as I wrap up,
Corruption is an act by the Congress
as I wrap up,
and Parliament could have run if Ashwani Kumar and Bansal had resigned
Shouting
on the
One second.
16th of the 10th
Shouting
and
does
allowed
not mean
Parliament
let
to
what's a
function.
Piyush go back.
So if they had to resign, they could have gone 1 week earlier.
One second.
And if they stop corruption,
I
then
propose.
certainly Parliament will
I
function.
propose just one thing, gentlemen. Parliament will start on the 5th. One second,
if
Piyush Goyal, you
they
must
don't
let
give us a new
Mr. Piyush Goyal, you're not.
corruption
1 second, Mr. Goyal.
they should not give
the
us new
question is
corruption.
this, and I put this question to every viewer of Newshour on television, and I hope they are watching tonight. In the run-up to this election, do you support the idea of proper and long debates where we dissect at a national level, where political parties join us, we discuss governance, the economy, unemployment,
Absolutely.
jobs,
Absolutely
and at the
right.
same time discuss secularism so that no political party can run away from subjects they are not comfortable with? I thank you all.
Congress answers those questions which remain unanswered.
I thank you all.
I've answered all the questions.
I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking part in debate number one on the Newshour tonight.